Scene opens in a dimly lit dungeon. Jinwoo moves silently, eyes scanning for traps, just as he steps forward. Hunter-cha, caught you red-handed. Jinwoo's reflexes kick in, summoning his dagger in an instant. But then he freezes. His brain lags. Processing. Error. Hunter-cha, what the hell are you doing here? Jinwoo, completely stunned, just stands there like a deer in headlights. Jinwoo, I got lost. Hunter-cha squints at him, arms crossed. Yeah, she's not buying it. Hunter-cha, this is the boss's room. Back off. Jinwoo exhales, dismisses his dagger, and takes a step back. He can tell she's strong. The fact that she caught him off guard means she's not someone to underestimate. But Cha is already convinced this kid is nuts. She swore she saw a weapon in his hand, but now it's gone. What kind of magic trick? As Jinwoo brushes past her, she suddenly stiffens, eyes wide. Hunter-cha, wait. Jinwoo pauses, confused. Then she leans in and sniffs him, like, hey, hound. Jinwoo, excuse me. Hunter-cha frowns. He doesn't reek like a dumpster fire. No blood, no sweat, no onions. That alone is suspicious. Hunter-cha narration, what kind of low-rank hunter smells nice? That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. She checks his badge, E-rank. Her brain short-circuits. Hunter-cha narration, fragrant because he's low-rank? What kind of Narnia logic is this? Cut to the mining crew. Jinwoo returning after his little detour. Random minor one. Dude, you're crazy lucky. Miss Cha was just patrolling. If she thought you were suspicious, you'd be in a body cast right now. Jinwoo narration, wait, she wasn't following me. I was the one being paranoid. One geeky miner pushes up his glasses. Geeky miner, you don't get it. She can literally smell the stench on us. Most hunters reek like onions. That's why she always carries tissues, so she doesn't suffocate around us. Jinwoo spaces out. System glitch. Like that time Baron said, he couldn't hear the voice ordering him to kill. Cut to Guild HQ. Jinwoo walks in to collect his mission payout. The whole office is buzzing. Everyone is gawking at him. Random guild worker. He finished 2 hours early, like a human excavator. The boss claps Jinwoo on the back, grinning. Guild boss. Kid, you sure you don't want to work for me full-time? I'll take real good care of you. Jinwoo. Thanks, boss, but I've got other gigs lined up. Guild boss. What about tomorrow's raid? Jinwoo raises an eyebrow. Jinwoo. Another A rank? Already? Guild boss. Yep, backup team this time. We're probably the only guild in Korea that can split our squad to handle multiple high-rank portals at once. Jinwoo thinks for a second. Jinwoo, what time do I show up? The boss lights up like a kid on Christmas. Guild boss. That's the spirit. I'll even double your pay. More than fair for someone working for $5, right? Cut to Hunter-cha that night, pacing in her apartment. She dials the guild. Hunter-cha. Hey, I need info on a guy named Song Jinwoo. He was in the mining crew today. Guild worker, why? Hunter-cha. He said he got lost. I just want to make sure he's not a spy from another guild. Guild worker. Funny thing, Master Choi ordered research on him, but the association locked his files. No one can access them. Hunter-cha's eyes widen. She hangs up, flops onto her bed, and stares at the ceiling. Hunter-cha narration, why is this guy different? He's the first hunter I've met who actually smells good. Cut to the mining crew the next day. Jinwoo is lost in thought when. Random miner. Hero. Lunchtime. Just as Jinwoo gets up, a knight from the attack squad walks in. Attack squad knight. We need a replacement. Our shield bearer didn't show up. Any volunteers? The miners exchange looks. Random miner. Yeah, no thanks. We like living. Attack squad knight. We'll pay extra. Still silence. Until... Jinwoo, I'll go. The entire room collectively malfunctions. Random minor. Bro, you're way too young to become Monster Chow. Jinwoo, grinning. I just want to learn a few things. The attack squad leader, Sun Ki-hoon, approaches, sizing Jinwoo up. Sun Ki-hoon. All right, kid. What's your weapon of choice? Jinwoo casually hoists a massive 300 kilograms backpack onto his shoulder, like it's a school bag. Sun Ki-hoon. You've got to be kidding me. Cut to the raid entrance. The portal is massive, bigger than yesterday's. Attack squad member. Relax, if it were really dangerous, they wouldn't have sent the backup squad. Jinwoo side-eyes them, just like that time with the double dungeon, and everyone got a one-way ticket to the afterlife. The squad is still stacked, 2 A ranks, 6 B ranks. Should be fine, right? Inside, a beautiful mage notices Jinwoo's nerves. A rank mage. Don't worry, newbie, we'll protect you. She smirks, especially me. I'm a healer, so I've got you covered. She winks, then recites an old hunter saying, A-rank mage. If the mage gets hit, it's the tank's fault. If the healer gets hit, it's the attack squad's fault. But if the shield bearer gets hit, we're all screwed. She grins. A-rank mage. So as long as we don't all die, you'll be just fine. Ki-hoon, meanwhile, was hyped because this was his first time leading Group B. If he could pull this off, he might get promoted to full-time leader. Out of nowhere, a noise echoed through the dungeon, and the whole team immediately snapped into formation. Jinwoo was impressed though, but he even needed to be told what to do. This was the power of an A-rank squad. Then a pack of coyotes showed up, and the team wasted no time slicing them to pieces. Honestly, if they struggled with this, it would have been embarrassing. Jinwoo soloed 300 of these things back. Episode 2 while still being a total weakling. The mage told everyone to duck because she was about to light the place up, and in a flash big bad wolves were gone. But the squad was confused. Why the hell were coyotes inside an A-rank dungeon? They were only C-rank monster. Way too weak to be here. That's when Jinwoo noticed something strange. These weren't just any wild mutts. They had collar marks on their necks, meaning someone had domesticated. That's when the real demons of this dungeon decided to crash the party. A whole squad of high orcs popped up, and the gang immediately started sweating bullets. One of them chucked a spear at light speed, nearly shattering the leader's shield. The orcs rushed in, and the Red Knight tried to block them. They just used him as a stepping stone and went straight for the mages. One of them caught a fireball right in the face like it was nothing. But turns out their magic resistance was built different, so it barely left a scratch. The cat girl managed to hold one down with some magic whips. But the guy was a tank, and she could only keep him locked for 5 seconds max. The mage was like, that's all I need, and summoned massive fire soldiers to attack. Only problem, he used up all his mana, so now he was just a sitting duck. The martial artist chick tried to drop some Karate Kid move, but the orc hit her with a full body tackle that sent her flying straight into the wall. Things got even worse when they started getting surrounded, and Ki-hoon ordered them to split into 3 groups. Even though this was an A-rank dungeon, no one was expecting 20 freaking high orcs to spawn out of nowhere. That was not what the portal scanner showed, and it didn't take long for the first unlucky soul to lose an arm. Each chick tried to trap the orc while the healer flexed her OP skills and straight up regrew the guy's arm like it was no big deal. But the orc snapped the bindings like they were paper and teleported behind her, about to send her straight to the respawn screen. Meanwhile, Mr. Backpack himself had mysteriously vanished, and out of nowhere the orc started choking midair. Turns out Jinwoo was using stealth mode and went full ninja, slicing up the beast from the inside out. The healer had zero clue what just happened. Then another orc randomly lost his footing because Deep Cut suddenly appeared on his ankle right before Ki-hoon finished the job and split him in half. At that point, the whole squad was confused. Why was this fight suddenly so easy? That's when they realized Jinwoo was secretly weakening the orcs one by one without anyone noticing. A few of them even started sensing his presence, so he just heated them off the map before they could start swinging at the air like crazy people. The martial artist chick took the opportunity to body an orc with some premium grade hands while the leader carved through their boss like he was slicing. Butter the dude hit the ground hard. As soon as the battle was over, everyone checked for injury, because as long as you were still breathing, the healers could patch you up like nothing happened. The healer reported to the leader that one of the high orcs randomly started choking out of nowhere. Ki-hun thought it was the mage chick's doing, but she denied it. No way her skills could pull off something that wild. Then the mage suggested that if someone could do that, it would have to be someone outside the squad. She was the only one who figured out that Jin-woo had been using stealth mode the whole time to secretly assassinate the monsters. But since she could tell he had a reason for keeping his real power under wraps, she decided to let it slide for now. After catching their breath, the squad started debating whether to retreat. After all, they barely survived fighting these high organs, and who knows what else was lurking ahead. But Ki-hun really wanted to finish the dungeon, so he could get promoted to official squad league. Jin-woo could tell the guy was dead set on completing the raid, but since he genuinely cared about his team's safety, he decided to pull back. The whole squad was sweating, thinking he was about to say, "Now let's keep going." Only one slight issue when they tried heading back. A cursed barrier suddenly materialized, blocking their way out. They immediately turned to the mage chick like, "Yo, you got a spell for this?" She was like, "I can, but I'm gonna need time." The real issue, some ridiculously strong monster had to be the one who cast the spell. So yeah, retreating was definitely the right move, because if they had pushed forward, they would have been wiped out for sure. But when she tried to break the barrier, she immediately started coughing up strawberry jam, and the other guests looked like they were about to pass out. When they looked back, there were 60 high orcs standing there, ready to breathe down their necks like some creeps in a dark alley. And if they almost got deleted by 20, imagine 3 times that. The squad leaders locked eyes, and the biggest orc stepped up, yelling straight into Ki-hun's face with breath so bad it could melt steel beams. Dude was talking in monster gibberish, and obviously no one understood a thing. But then, plot twist, the boss orc must have taken some Duolingo lessons, cause he suddenly switched to human language. Ki-hun asked if he was the one who put up the magic barrier, and the guy straight up flexed. "Damn right I did. I'm none other than the great and powerful orc shaman." And then he added, "And your weak little human spells ain't got nothing on mine. So don't even bother." The shaman gave them 2 options: get obliterated now or follow him. And since they weren't complete idiots, they obviously went with option 2, whisper to the squad that they'd pull a surprise attack on the boss as soon as they got close enough. Even if they couldn't take him down, it should be enough to break the barrier. Then he turned to Jin-woo and told him to run for his life the second the barrier dropped, and get the real strike team over here. But Jin-woo, being Jin-woo, was like, "Yeah, and by the time they get here, you guys will already be turned into mashed potato." But Ki-hun just hit him with that professional soldier mindset, saying their job was to close the portal, not to survive. That's why they get paid the big bucks. Then the healer pulled Jin-woo aside and asked him to deliver a message to her family if he made it out alive. She told him this wasn't his fight, so there was no reason for him to risk his life. But Jin-woo just took the letter and smiled. "I'll hold on to that, but I won't be needing to deliver it." Meanwhile, outside, Cha was pacing around looking for Jin-woo, wondering if he was finally done playing Minecraft in the mining crew. The guild leader walked up to her and was like, "Hey, aren't you supposed to be off today?" She ignored him and asked if he'd seen a hunter named some Jin-woo around, and the second he mentioned, Jin-woo joined as a shield bearer. She froze inside the dungeon. The squad finally reached the boss room, and oh boy, it was straight up chaos. Hundreds of high orcs, plus a bunch of warrior-type monsters who looked like they just walked out of God of War. But the worst part, the boss himself, an absolute demon of a monster, standing there staring them down like fresh meat and greeting them with welcome humans. "I've been expecting you, bro." I felt that. This dude is without a doubt the strongest boss we've seen. So are actually gonna make it out alive? That's what we're gonna find out in the next video.